Russian organized crime or Russian mafia, Russian. Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter O, Cyrillic small letter S, Cyrillic small letter S, Cyrillic small letter I, combining acute accent, Cyrillic small letter short 1, Cyrillic small letter S, Cyrillic small letter K, Cyrillic small letter E, Cyrillic small letter Y, Cyrillic small letter EM, Cyrillic small letter E, combining acute accent, Cyrillic small letter F, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter Y, TR. Rossiyskaya mafia, IPA, R, Latin small letter turned A, modifier letter vertical line S, modifier letter small j, Ijsk, Latin small letter schwa, J, Latin small letter schwa, modifier letter vertical line MAF, modifier letter small j, Latin letter small capital 1 J, Latin small letter schwa, Russian. Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter U, combining acute accent, Cyrillic small letter S, Cyrillic small letter S, Cyrillic small letter K, Cyrillic small letter E, Cyrillic small letter Y, Cyrillic small letter EM, Cyrillic small letter E, combining acute accent, Cyrillic small letter F, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter Y, TR. Russkaya mafia, IPA, modifier letter vertical line Rusk, Latin small letter schwa, J, Latin small letter schwa, modifier letter vertical line MAF, modifier letter small j, Latin letter small capital 1 J, Latin small letter schwa, otherwise known as Bratva, Russian. Cyrillic small letter B, Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter E, Cyrillic small letter T, Cyrillic small letter V, Cyrillic small letter E, combining acute accent, TR. Bratva, IPA, BR, Latin small letter turned AT, modifier letter vertical line VA, lit. Brotherhood, is a collective of various organized crime elements originating in the former Soviet Union. The acronym OPG is Organized Criminal, Prestupnaya in Russian group, used to refer to any of the Russian mafia groups, sometimes modified with a specific name, e.g. Orkhovskaya OPG. Sometimes the initialism is translated and OCG is used. Organized crime in Russia began in the imperial period of the Tsars, but it was not until the Soviet era that Vory-Vzyak I, thieves in law, emerged as leaders of prison groups and forced labor camps, and their honor code became more defined. With the end of World War II, the death of Joseph Stalin, and the fall of the Soviet Union, more gangs emerged in a flourishing black market, exploiting the unstable governments of the former republics, and at its highest point, even controlling as much as 2/3 of the Russian economy. Louis Freeh, former director of the FBI, said that the Russian mafia posed the greatest threat to U.S. national security in the mid-1990s. Modern times. There are as many as 6,000 different groups, with more than 200 of them having a global reach. Criminals of these various groups are either former prison members, corrupt officials and business leaders, people with ethnic ties, or people from the same region with shared criminal experiences and leaders. In December 2009, Timur Lakinin, the head of the Russian National Central Bureau of Interpol, stated, "Certainly, there is crime involving our former compatriots abroad, but there is no data suggesting that an organized structure of criminal groups comprising former Russians exists abroad," while in August 2010, Alain Bauer, a French criminologist, said that it is one of the best structured criminal organizations in Europe, with a quasi-military operation. History. Origins. The Russian criminality can be traced back to Russia's imperial period, which began in the 1720s, in the form of banditry and thievery. Most of the population were peasants, in poverty at the time, and criminals who stole from government entities and divided profits among the people earned Robin Hood-like status, being viewed as protectors of the poor and becoming folk heroes. In time, the Vorovskaya Mir, thieves' world, emerged as these criminals grouped and started their own code of conduct that was based on strict loyalty with one another and opposition against the government. When the Bolshevik Revolution came around in 1917, the thieves' world was alive and active. Vladimir Lenin attempted to wipe them out, but failed, and the criminals survived into Joseph Stalin's reign. 1917–1991, Soviet era. During Stalin's reign as ruler, millions of people were sent to gulags, Soviet labor camps, where powerful criminals worked their way up to become vorami vizak I, thieves in law. These criminal elite often conveyed their status through complicated tattoos, symbols still used by Russian mobsters. After Hitler's invasion of the Soviet Union during World War II, Stalin was recruiting more men to fight for the nation, offering prisoners freedom if they joined the army. Many flocked to help out in the war, but this act betrayed codes of the thieves' world that one must not ally with the government. Those who chose not to fight in the war referred to the traitors as suka, bitch, and the traitors landed at the bottom of the hierarchy. Outcast, the Suki separated from the others and formed their own groups on power bases by collaborating with prison officials, eventually gaining the luxury of comfortable positions. Bitterness between the groups erupted into a series of bitch wars from 1945 to 1953, with many killed every day. The prison officials encouraged the violence, seeing it as a way to rid the prisons of criminals. Then, in the 1980s, Mikhail Gorbachev loosened restrictions on private businesses, allowing them to grow legally, but by then, the Soviet Union was already beginning to collapse. Also during the 1970s and 1980s, the United States expanded its immigration policies, allowing Soviet Jews, with most settling in the southern Brooklyn area known as Brighton Beach, sometimes nicknamed as Little Odessa. Here is where Russian organized crime began in the U.S. The earliest known case of Russian crime in the area was in the mid-1970s by the Potato Bag Gang, a group of con artists disguised as merchants that told customers that they were selling antique old rubles for cheap, but in fact, gave them bags of potatoes when bought in thousands. By 1983, the head of Russian organized crime in Brighton Beach was Evgeny Agron. Paul Mirzoyan was a prime target among other mobsters, including rival Boris Goldberg and his organization, and in May 1985 Agron was assassinated. Boris Biba Neifeld, his bodyguard, moved on to employ under Marat Balagula, who was believed to have succeeded Agron's authority. In the following year, Balagula fled the country after he was convicted in a fraud scheme of Merrill Lynch customers, and was found in Frankfurt, West Germany in 1989, where he was extradited back to the U.S. and sentenced to 8 years in prison. Balagula would later be convicted on a separate $360,000 credit card fraud in 1992. Neifeld took Balagula's place, partnering with the Polish Al Capone, Ricardo Fanchinian, in an import-export business and setting up a heroin business. In 1990, his former friend, Manya Elson, back from a 6-year prison sentence in Israel, returned to America and set up a rival heroin business, culminating in a mafia turf war. 1992–2000. Growth and internationalization. When the USSR collapsed and a free market economy emerged, organized criminal groups began to take over Russia's economy, with many ex-KGB agents and veterans of the Afghan War offering their skills to the crime bosses. Gangster summit meetings had taken place in hotels and restaurants shortly before the Soviets' dissolution, so that Top-Vori Vizak I could agree on who would rule what, and set plans on how to take over the post-communist states. It was agreed that Vyacheslav Yaponchik Ivankov would be sent to Brighton Beach in 1992, allegedly because he was killing too many people in Russia, and also to take control of Russian organized crime in North America. Within a year, he built an international operation that included, but was not limited to, narcotics, money laundering, and prostitution, and made ties with the American mafia and Colombian drug cartels, eventually extending to Miami, Los Angeles, and Boston. Those who went against him were usually killed. Prior to Ivankov's arrival, Balagula's downfall left a void for America's next Vori Vizak I. Manya Elson, leader of Molnier's Brigada, a gang that similarly operated from Russia to Los Angeles to New York, was in a feud with Boris Neifeld, with bodies dropping on both sides. Ivankov's arrival virtually ended the feud, although Ilsen would later challenge his power as well, and a number of attempts were made to end the former's life. Mayfield and Ilsen would eventually be arrested in January 1994, released in 1998 and in Italy in 1995, respectively. Ivankov's reign also ended in June 1995 when a $3.5 million extortion attempt on two Russian businessmen, Alexander Volkov and Vladimir Voloshin, ended in an FBI arrest that resulted in a 10-year maximum security prison sentence. Before his arrest and besides his operations in America, Ivankov regularly flew around Europe and Asia to maintain ties with his fellow mobsters, like members of the Solontsevskaya Bratva, as well as reinforce ties with others. This did not stop other people from denying him growing power. In one instance, Ivankov attempted to buy out Georgian boss Valery Glober's Blue Jack's drug importation business. When the latter refused the offer, he and his top associates were shot dead. A summit held in May 1994 in Vienna rewarded him with what was left of Blue Jack's business. 2 months later, Ivankov got into another altercation with drug kingpin and head of the Orekhovskaya gang, Sergei Sylvester Timofeyev, ending with the latter murdered a month later. In 1995, the Camorra cooperated with the Russian mafia in a scheme in which the Camorra would bleach out US $1 bills and reprint them as $100s. These bills would then be transported to the Russian mafia for distribution in 29 post-Eastern Bloc countries and former Soviet republics. In return, the Russian mafia paid the Camorra with property, including a Russian bank and firearms, smuggled into Eastern Europe and Italy. Back in Eastern Europe in May 1995, crime boss Semyon Mogilevich held a different summit meeting of Russian mafia bosses in his Uholuba restaurant in Andal, a neighborhood of Prague. The excuse to bring them together was that it was a birthday party for Viktor Alvarin, the second in command of the Solontsevskaya Bratva. However, Major Thomas Machasek of the Czech police got wind of an anonymous tip-off that claimed that the Solontsevskaya were planning to assassinate Mogilevich at the location. It was rumored that Mogilevich and Solontsevskaya leader Sergei Mikhailov had a dispute over $5 million, and the police successfully raided the meeting. 200 guests were arrested, but no charges were put against them. Only key Russian mafia members were banned from the country, most of whom moved to Hungary. One person who was not there was Mogilevich himself. He claimed that, by the time I arrived at Uholubu, everything was already in full swing, so I went into a neighboring hotel and sat in the bar there until about 5 or 6 in the morning. Mikhailov would later be arrested in Switzerland in October 1996 on numerous charges, including that he was the head of a powerful Russian mafia group, but was exonerated and released 2 years later after evidence was not enough to prove much. The global extent of Russian organized crime wasn't realized until Ludwig Tarzan Feinberg was arrested in January 1997, primarily because of arms dealing. In 1990, Feinberg moved from Brighton Beach to Miami and opened up a strip club called Porky's, which soon became a popular hangout for underworld criminals. Feinberg himself gained a reputation as an ambassador among international crime groups, becoming especially close to Juan Almeida, a Colombian cocaine dealer. Planning to expand his cocaine business, Feinberg acted as an intermediary between Almeida and the corrupt Russian military. He helped him get 6 Russian military helicopters in 1993, and in the following year, helped arrange to buy a submarine for cocaine smuggling. Unfortunately for the two of them, federal agents had been keeping a close eye on Feinberg for months. Alexander Yasevich, an associate of the Russian military contact and an undercover DEA agent, was sent to verify the illegal dealing, and in 1997, Feinberg was finally arrested in Miami. Facing the possibility of life imprisonment, the latter agreed for his testimony against Almeida in exchange for a shorter sentence, which ended up being 33 months. 2001. Present as the 21st century dawned, the Russian mafia remained after the death of Aslan Yusoyan. New mafia bosses sprang up, while imprisoned ones were released. Among the released were Marat Balagula and Vyacheslav Ivankov, both in 2004. The latter was extradited to Russia, but was jailed once more for his alleged murders of two Turks in a Moscow restaurant in 1992. He was cleared of all charges and released in 2005. 4 years later, he was assassinated by a shot in the stomach from a sniper. Meanwhile, Manya Ilsen and Leonid Roydman were arrested in March 2006 for an unsuccessful murder plot against two Kiev-based businessmen. In 2009, FBI agents in Moscow targeted two suspected mafia leaders and two other corrupt businessmen. One of the leaders is Yevgeny Dvoskin, a criminal who had been in prison with Ivankov in 1995 and was deported in 2001 for breaking immigration regulations. The other is Konstantin Gizia Ginsburg, who is reportedly the current big boss of Russian organized crime in America before his reported assassination in 2009, it being suspected that Ivankov handed over control to him. Some sources state that Shiaib was present in Eastern Europe right before the death of Vyacheslav Ivankov as well as Aslan Yusoyan. In the same year, Semyon Mogilevich was placed on the FBI 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list for his involvement in a complex multi-million-dollar scheme that defrauded investors in the stock of his company YBM Magnex International, swindling them out of $150 million. He was indicted in 2003 and arrested in 2008 in Russia on tax fraud charges, but because the U.S. does not have an extradition treaty with Russia, he was released on bail. Manya Elson said, in 1998, that Mogilevich is the most powerful mobster in the world. Around the world, Russian mafia groups have popped up as dominating particular areas. Russian organized crime has a rather large stronghold in the city of Atlanta where members are distinguished by their tattoos. Russian organized crime was reported to have a stronger grip in the French Riviera region and Spain in 2010, and Russia was branded as a virtual mafia state according to the WikiLeaks cables. In 2009, Russian mafia groups had been said to reach over 50 countries and, in 2010, had up to 300,000 members. According to recordings released in 2015, Alexander Litvinenko, shortly before he was assassinated, claimed that Semyon Mogilevich has had a good relationship with Vladimir Putin since the 1990s. On the 7th of June 2017, 33 Russian mafia affiliate and members were arrested and charged by the FBI, U.S. Customs and Border Protection and NYPD for extortion, racketeering, illegal gambling, firearm offenses, narcotics trafficking, wire fraud, credit card fraud, identity theft, fraud on casino slot machines using electronic hacking devices, based in Atlantic City and Philadelphia, murder for hire conspiracy and cigarette trafficking. They were also accused of operating secret and underground gambling dens based in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, and using violence to those who owed gambling debts, establishing nightclubs to sell drugs, plotting to force women associates to rob male strangers by seducing and drugging them with chloroform, and trafficking over 10,000 pounds of stolen chocolate confectionery. The chocolate was stolen from shipment containers. It is believed that 27 of the arrested are connected to the Russian mafia Shulaya clan, which are largely based in New York. According to the prosecution, the Shulaya also has operations in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Florida and Nevada. According to law enforcement and the prosecution, this is one of the first federal arrests against a Russian mafia boss and his underboss or co-leader. On the 26th of September 2017, as part of a 4-year investigation, 100 Spanish Civil Guard officers carried out 18 searches in different areas of Malaga, Spain related to Russian mafia large-scale money laundering. The raids resulted in the arrests of 11 members and associates of the Syndicate and Izmaylovskaya clans. Money, firearms and 23 high-end vehicles were also seized. The owner of Marbella FC, Alexander Grinberg, and manager of AFK Sistema, a local Malaga Spanish football club, were among those arrested. On the 19th of February 2018, 18 defendants were accused of laundering over $62 million through real estate, including with the help of Vladislav Reznik, former chairman of Rosgosstrak, one of Russia's largest insurance companies. The accused stood trial in Spain. The Tambov and Malishev Russian mafia organizations were involved. Alexander Torshin is allegedly a high-ranked boss in Russian mafia. Structure and composition. Bratva structure. Note that these positions are not always official titles, but rather are understood names for roles that an individual performs. Pakhan, also called boss, Krestny Otets, Capo di tutti capi, godfather, vor, thief, papa, or avtoritet, authority, controls everything. The Pakhan controls 4 criminal cells in the working unit through an intermediary called a brigadier. 2 spies watch over the action of the brigadiers to ensure loyalty and that none become too powerful. They are the Sovietnik, support group, and Obshchak, security group. Dersatel Obshchaka, the bookkeeper, collects money from brigadiers and bribes the government with Obshchak, money mafia intended for use in the interests of the group. This could be brigadier, Pakhan, authoritet. Brigadier, also called avtoritet, authority, is like a captain in charge of a small group of men, similar to Caporgime in Italian-American mafia crime families and Sicilian mafia clans. He gives out jobs to boyviks, warriors, and pays tribute to Pakhan. He runs a crew which is called a brigade. A brigade is made up of 5-6 patsanov or brodyag. Bradag, also called patsan, or Brodyaga, works for a brigadier having a special criminal activity to run, similar to soldiers in Italian-American mafia crime families and Sicilian mafia clans. A boyvik is in charge of finding new guys and paying tribute up to his brigadier. Boyviks also make up the main strike force of a brigade. Shestyrka is an associate to the organization, also called the Six, similar to associates in Italian-American mafia crime families and Sicilian mafia clans. Is an errand boy for the organization and is the lowest rank in the Russian mafia. The Sixes are assigned to some avtorites for support. They also provide an intelligence for the upcoming delo or on a certain target. They usually stay out of the main actions, although there might be exceptions, depending on circumstances. During a delo, Shestyorkas perform security functions standing on the lookout. Shuker, literally, danger. It is a temporary position and an individual either makes it into the vor world or is cast aside. As they are earning their respect and trust in Bratva, they may be performing roles of the regular boyviks or biki depending on the necessities and patronage of their brigadier or avtoritate. Etymology of Shestyrka word comes from the lowest rank of 36 playing Kardak. Sixes.in. The Russian mafia, vor, plural, vori, literally, thief, is an honorary title denoting a made man. The honor of becoming the vor is only given when the recruit shows considerable leadership skills, personal ability, intellect and charisma. A Pakhan or another high-ranking member of an organization can decide if the recruit will receive such title. When you become a member of the vor world, you have to accept the code of the vor Vzak 1, thief and law. Although Russian criminal groups vary in their structure, there have been attempts to devise a model of how they work. One such model, possibly outdated by now, as it is based on the old style of Soviet criminal enterprises, works out like this. Elite group, led by a Pakhan who is involved in management, organization and ideology. This is the highest group that controls both support group and security group. Security group is led by one of his spies. His job is to make sure the organization keeps running and also keeps the peace between the organizations and other criminal groups and also paying off the right people. This group works with the elite group and is equal in power with the support groups. Is in charge of security and in intelligence. Support group is led by one of his spies. His job is to watch over the working unit collecting the money while supervising their criminal activities. This group works with the elite group and is equal in power with the security group. They plan a specific crime for a specialized group or choose who carries out the operation. Working unit. There are 4 brigadiers running a criminal activity in the working unit. Each brigade is controlled by a brigadier. This is the lowest group, working with only the support group. The group is involved in burglars, thieves, prostitution, extortion, street gangs and other crimes. Notable individual groups based in and around the city of Moscow. Syndicate Bratva, led by Sergei Mikhailov, it is Russia's largest criminal group with about 5,000 members, and is named after the Syndicate district. Lyuberskaya Bratva, Russian. Cyrillic capital letter L, Cyrillic small letter U, Cyrillic small letter B, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter C, Cyrillic small letter K, Cyrillic small letter E, Cyrillic small letter Y, Cyrillic capital letter B, Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter E, Cyrillic small letter T, Cyrillic small letter V, Cyrillic small letter E or Lyuberi, Russian. Cyrillic capital letter L, Cyrillic small letter U, Cyrillic small letter B, Cyrillic small letter I, Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter U. One of the largest criminal groups in late 1980s, early mid-1990s in the USSR. Based in, and originating from, Lyubertsy district of Moscow. The Izmaylovskaya gang, one of Russia's oldest modern gangs, it was started in the mid to late 1980s by Oleg Ivanov. It has around 200–500 members in Moscow alone, and is named after the Izmaylovo district. The Orekhovskaya gang, founded by Sergei Sylvester Timofeyev. This group reached its height in Moscow in the 1990s. When Timofeyev died, Sergei Badorin took his place. However, he was sentenced to jail for life in 2011. Groups based in other parts of Russia and the former Soviet Union. The Dolgoprodnenskaya gang, Russia's second-largest criminal group. Originally from the city of Dolgoprodny. The Grekov gang, named after Grekov Bradlik, this group has been known to dominate St. Petersburg and has branches in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The man most associated with them is Vladimir Kumarin. The Slanovskaya gang was one of the strongest criminal groups in CIS in the 1990s. It was based in Ryazan. It had a long-term war with other criminal groups of the city, Iropedovskaya, Koketkovsky, etc. The Uralmash gang of Yekaterinburg. The Chechen Mafia is one of the largest ethnic organized crime groups operating in the former Soviet Union next to established Russian mafia groups. The Georgian Mafia is regarded as one of the biggest, powerful and influential criminal networks in Europe, which has produced the biggest number of thieves-in-law in all former USSR countries. The Kedrioni was a paramilitary group involved in organized crime led by a thief-in-law Jabai Zuliani in Georgia in the 1990s. The city of Kazan was known for its gang culture, which later progressed into more organized, mafia-esque groups. This was known as the Kazan phenomenon. Groups based in and around the United States of America. The Odessa Mafia, the most prominent and dominant Russian criminal group operating in the U.S. Its headquarters is in Brighton Beach. Armenian Power, or AP-13, is a California-based crime syndicate tied to Russian and Armenian organized crime. Groups based in other areas. The Brothers Circle, headed by Teimuri Mirzoyev. This multi-ethnic transnational group is composed of leaders and senior members of several Eurasian criminal groups largely based in countries of the former Soviet Union but operating in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. In 2011, U.S. President Barack Obama and his administration named it one of 4 transnational organized crime groups that posed the greatest threat to U.S. national security, and sanctioned certain key members and froze their assets. A year later, he extended the national emergency against them for another year. The Semyon Mogilevich organization, based in Budapest, Hungary and headed by the crime boss of the same name, this group numbered approximately 250 members as of 1996. Its business is often connected with that of the Solntsevskaya Bratva and the Vyacheslav Ivankov organization. Alexei Anatolyevich Lugovkov is the second in command, and Vitaly Borisovich Savalovsky is the underboss to Mogilevich. Order of Ranova, an organization with ties to Russian and Italian organized crime, based throughout Salt Lake City, Utah, Carson City, Nevada, Tacoma, Washington, and Phoenix, Arizona. It has an estimate of 100 made members and 400 associates. Gradinaru Bratva, a family started in Cleveland, Ohio. It is also known as Cyrillic capital letter O, Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter G, Cyrillic small letter A, Cyrillic small letter ER, Cyrillic small letter U, Cyrillic small letter E, Cyrillic small letter I, which stands for Organized Russian Gentlemen. Founded by the Mikhailov family and are usually hard to spot, these gentlemen are fierce and have their own hierarchy consisting of 3 leaders, one of which, Alexander Mikhailov, was killed in a motorcycle accident in 2006. See also References. Sources: The Russian Mafia and its impact on the Russian economy. Archive from the original on the 27th of December 2013. Russian Mafia controls economy and politics. Further reading: Galeotti, Mark. 2018. The Vori. Yale University Press. Varies, Federico. 2005. The Russian Mafia. Oxford University Press. External links: Eurasian transnational organized crime groups.